Hello there, Hippykillerz is back. Long absence yet again. I know, this is kind of my gimmick now, isn't it? I take long breaks and then make a video, 2 videos, and then I'll take another break. But, you know, if I remember correctly, my hair was long last time I made a vid, so there's a change. Got a bit more stubble. My cat is licking himself in the background, so... yeah, it's just... I've been a recurring theme in a lot of videos at the moment is... I think it was started by Honor Hammer, who said that this year's been the worst since 2000 in WWE land. WWE Universe, whatever you want to call it. Do I agree with this statement? Absolutely not. Do I think it's been a bad year? Yeah. Do I think it's been a terrible year? Not really. I mean, there's been far worse years in WWE land. I mean, look at 95, 93. But in this past decade, there's been worse years. 2002 wasn't particularly good, wrestling or storyline-wise. I mean, Katie Vick, Al Wilson, just to name a few. Billy and Chuck getting married, that was terrible. But I'm here to point this out to everyone. If you think 2010 was bad, or is bad, sorry, because we're still in it, go back to 2007. This year sucked. It sucked. Do you want to know why? Because this show shows exactly what was wrong in 2007. I'm going to run through the card and I'm going to point out flaws and little things. And basically a ramble video, but with a purpose. Like, the main event you had this... I'm going to compare it to 26, by the way, to help get a better idea. John Cena versus Shawn Michaels was the main event and was the WWE title match at 23. Now, granted, it was a decent enough main event, but did you care? No. Do you know why WWE tried to make you care? Because they gave them the tag belts. Why? What does that do? This is when you sort of had a tag division. Oh, let's give John Cena and Shawn Michaels the belts. There you go, lads. Have fun. That builds a WrestleMania main event, apparently. No, it doesn't. I mean, WWE title match this year, John Cena and Batista. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Batista's heel turn is very enjoyable. It was very enjoyable. It was probably the most time since Evolution I actually gave a shit about Batista. Because he sucked as a face. And the main event this year, WrestleMania 26, probably one of the most is probably going to be that's going to be the WrestleMania moment for this WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels waving goodbye. You know? I mean, what do you have there? John Cena in his car? Ooh, look at me, I'm John Cena. I wear a hat and a t-shirt and I'm driving a car. No, that's not a WrestleMania moment. God help us. Oh, and this is when WrestleMania 23, this is when John Cena was on his year-long title reign. He was demolishing everyone. Well, actually, I take that back. Everyone was just demolishing him on the Raws and the SmackDown. When it came to the pay-per-view, he was Superman. It's like, oh, John Cena's coming into this match with injured ribs. When is he not in 2007 and 6? Come on. World Heavyweight Championship match 23 was Batista and Undertaker. Was it Batista's best match of all time? If you said it, I wouldn't mind, but it's Batista, so he's not that great a wrestler. That was the World Heavyweight. This year you had Edge and Jericho. Bit disappointing, really. I mean, you could have had a great feud with these two, but all it was about was Edge going, spear, spear, spear. It's like, boss, this is for the World Championship. This isn't some Sunday Night Heat feud. Gordon Bennett. Batista and Taker, I like the build-up to that match. That's a good point on this show. But this is where the problems lie in 2007. This next match that I'm going to tell you. Because all the flaws are here. Battle of the Billionaires, hair versus hair. Bobby Lashley with Donald Trump in his corner versus Umaga with Vince McMahon in his corner and Stone Cold Steve Austin as the special ref. Right, now let's have a look at some of the key elements in this match. Bobby Lashley. WWE were pushing him to be this major star that never was, okay? I give John Cena credit. He may not be the world's greatest wrestler, alright? At least he can cut a promo. Don't stick a mic in front of Bobby Lashley. What's he going to go? You better. It's terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And they were pushing him as like, behind Cena and Batista, this is the big star. And it's like, fuck off. Fuck right off. Donald Trump. It's like, yeah, do it for mainstream. It's like, I don't care. You know Donald Trump's not going to lose his hair. He doesn't work for the company. He isn't going to lose his hair. So what's the point? Umaga. Oh, here's another. Oh, let's give him belts. This will help hype the feud. Umaga was the Intercontinental Champion. So that means we did not have an Intercontinental Championship match. And Bobby Lashley was the ECW champion, but yet he didn't appear on ECW for fucking months because he was too busy on Raw chasing Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, and Umaga around the ring. Oh, the ECW championship, we all remember Vince McMahon won it. But hey! Oh, and then Lashley wins it back. Could have had a decent enough reign. What they do, they strip him 6 days later. It's like, why the fuck did you give him back the belt then? Oh! Oh dear. And Vince McMahon. This is probably the thing that makes this the worst year in storylines and in wrestling. For 2007, I mean, in WWE. Because Vince McMahon goes crazy after losing the ECW title. And he gets blown up. He's dead. Vince McMahon is dead. He's getting blown up in a limousine. Yes. Shock upon shock. And you know, they have an F1 somber, it's like an actual person's died. And do you know what happens right in the middle of that storyline? Do you want to know what happens? Sherry Martel dies. She dies, right? Do they stop the storyline out of respect? No, they do not. They carry straight on. Do you know what it took? Do you know what it took to stop this storyline? Do you want to know? It took Chris Benoit killing his wife, killing his son, and then doing suicide to end this stupid ass storyline which no one gave two rats' asses about. That's what it took. It took perhaps one of the greatest wrestlers they had, killing his entire family and then himself. That's what it took to stop a storyline. That's how big-headed Vince McMahon and WWE were. Oh no, Sherry Martel's dead, but Vince McMahon is dead as well. Yes, we'll carry on the story. And then they do stop the storyline, but then they sort of carry it on by having Vince McMahon's got an illegitimate child. And it turns out to be Hornswoggle. It's like, why? Thank God it wasn't Triple H, because then we would have a brother-sister marriage storyline. God help us. Oh. But that, it just pisses me off no end, that storyline. Like what they were doing around that time. Money in the Bank, Edge, CM Punk, King Booker. Yes, we all remember King Booker because a King gimmick can get over in the 2000s. Of course it can't. He isn't Macho King Randy Savage. He isn't the King Harley Race. He isn't the King of Hearts Owen Hart. It's Booker T wearing a crown and a cape. That doesn't make him a king. So it's Ed, CM Punk, King Booker, Jeff Hardy, Mr. Kenny, Matt Hardy, Finlay. Finlay was nearly 50 here and he was getting a fucking push. What? What? Are you kidding? Oh. And Randy Orton was in the match as well. Mr. Anderson, Mr. Kenny, whatever you want to call him, wins. Yippee. And then they drop the ball on him with the Money in the Bank. The injuries on SmackDown, because Kennedy supposedly got injured for 6 months rather than 6 weeks. So they took the briefcase off him, gave it to Edge. Edge becomes the world champ. And the Undertaker, who's world champion when Edge beat him, had an injury. So Undertaker had an injury. Mr. Kenny had an injury. Edge had an injury when he was world champ, so he had to vacate the belt. Who they give it to? Great fucking Khali! Woohoo! Let's have a Mardi fucking Gras! Oh my goodness. Oh, the ECW match, cause right. Sandman, RVD, Tommy Dreamer and Sabu. 3 of those names went in 2007. Tommy Dreamer's left all in his Larry. He practically is ECW in 2007. Which is crap because Tommy Dreamer is fat and old and no one wants to see him wrestle. That was in 2007. God help us, he's still wrestling now and getting a push in 2010. Ah! The new breed. Marcus Corvon, they dropped the ball big time with him. Monty Brown, former footballer, so he might have had some mainstream sports audience like, oh, it's Monty Brown from whatever team he was on. I think he was in the Super Bowl or whatever. Great promo skills. Great. A finish that could get over. And they just go, oh, your name's Marquis Corvon. There you go. Go job to Sandman. Kevin Thorne, who was the vampire. And they fired Ariel. That pissed me off. Matt Striker, when he was a wrestler. Yes, he competed at WrestleMania. Who would Terry Funk it? And Elijah Burke, who'd have dropped the ball in as well, because he's now the Pope. Lumberjill for the Women's Championship. Oh God, Melina and Ashley. Right, this WrestleMania is, you can tell this is crap, because when this happened, Angle's left, Big Show's left, not that that's a big loss, pun, but, you know, Big Show's gone, so that's another big name gone. Trish is gone, Lita is gone, and Triple H is injured. So, you know, you have some key things from past WrestleManias who are now gone. And, you know, and Rey Mysterio was injured as well. So, the women's division, quite frankly, sucks then, and it still sucks now. At least you had Mickie James, but they didn't even put her on the fucking card. Kane versus Great Khali. They tried to redo Hogan and Andre with Kane and Khali. How the fuck is Kane anything like Hulk Hogan? What, they're both old? Similarities ends fucking there. Really. And Chris Benoit, who I've already mentioned, versus MVP. This year sucked. 2007 sucked. Alright? If you think 2010 sucks, fine. But 2007 was far worse. Far worse. It was just so bad storyline wrestling wise. I mean, you had Great Khali as the fucking world champion. Batista was always getting into the title picture. It was just, oh. And John Cena got injured as well. So we had, oh, it was just so bad. So bad. But, yeah, just think what you want. I've said my piece. I think 2007 is the worst year since 2000. So, leave comments, subscribe, whatever. It's Hippykillerz, signing out. And I'm not drinking tea, I'm well pissed.